anacrino, properly to distinguish by vigorously judging down to up, not up to down, down to up. Does that remind you of something? Jonathan, read the tags on the clothes you're carrying. 100% nylon, that doesn't make any sense. Turn it upside down. I turned it up 100%. No lion.
Like, oh.
Oh, so see, I'm in the system that
Like no lion, like the lion of the tribe of Judah. There's no lion left. You went from down to up. And if there's no lion left, then that means that, you know how like when you vote, you either send in your ballot or you send in an absentee, you send for an absentee ballot. 100% no lion with an absentee ballot. Vigorously judging from down, regular, to up, altered, St. Peter's altar.
if I'm in a system that's the lie, when I get turned up, then I can see the system for what it is, and then everything becomes true. Everything becomes pure to those whose hearts have been purified. All things become pure. That's why I could walk in there and see that that's an image of a crucifixion, and that's a female shadow representing the fall. Now, let's talk about.
So Jesus is there. The Jesus in this world is meant to be crucified, but you got to remember that not one bone was broken. Not one bone. She's letting the bird go here. She has an apple head. It's hard to see, really. It's not that close up. But it's all an illusion. It's more clear here. As you go up, you see the apple head on this female, human, woman. Bottom, opening, pierced. This is a piercing. Pierced right through. So this is an x-ray from the inside of a human being. These are tucked away, and this is concealed. That's why this is a smaller version of what you see from the outside. Knowing that what's in here is tucked away here, tucked away, hidden up there. And then that's why when you turn this around,
hackers can see what you send over Wi-Fi or steal what's on your devices.
they can.
Like your financial info.
Mm.
That's why Norton 360 includes a VPN for
I'm
online
sure it
privacy,
does.
device security, and more.
This is what comes out of there. And then this being the right side up, woman, ovaries, that area there, it's pink. And then you turn it this way, well, it's the male, spark of life still here, and there's an opening. And then same thing here, ovaries, but at the same time implants as a woman, breast implants, and this is concealed inside. So the woman that's on that the box for the wine, she's a hunter.
Right here on the back of her shoulder, they made a very straight line because that shows a cruise of, the crossbar, the horizontal bar. Let me ask you a question. Why would anyone ever, why would you ever have that kind of hidden imagery on a bottle of wine?
Well, because it's the male and female reproductive system set up from the beginning. He's just chilling there with his new host body. Went from a male to a female. Now, whether he let this go completely or just concealed it that's the question. But this was a male from the outside. This was definitely a male from the outside. Now it's a female from the outside. That's because that male did this. Which also means if this comes out, then this also has to be something where the spearhead is split in two. Once that spearhead is split in two, watch out. Because not only is this a dead sheep, but it's also split. It's a happy dead sheep. Happily dead. This is like a bird cage or something. And then going this way, well, these are nipples. So that's what she is. Right there. There's the apple head. And I can't really tell, but it kind of looks sparkling, like there's sparkles here. Spark of life. I know it's supposed to be a drink. And this book, it quite possibly could be the Bible. And this person interpreted the Bible this way because they all know that this is coming, or not. It's one or the other. But they all know that this is a decision that they feel like they have to make in order to go back to heaven, to be a bride of Christ. In order to become Christ, you have to be crucified. But remember, not one bone was broken when Christ, because he already died to the world. People that want to do this, it's because there's some kind of promises that you are guaranteed to have, but promises are always broken. They're not, it's not like the people that promised you guys on the other end. It's not like the ones that promised you weren't thinking that is going to be the case in the end. It's just they had a change of heart. Their heart changed. So the direction they were going, they're just no longer going in that direction anymore. So that scorpion sting, why do you think the scorpion stinging from rising up from the sea? This reptilian. Why do you think it's rising up from the sea, striking a man? Because the sting. Once you realize that you didn't even have to do that, because you're not going back to heaven. They went back to heaven because the ones that actually went to heaven, they're still here on earth. Their spirit turned into being from in hell, in that prison, to going back to heaven. So they went back to their first estate already, but they're still here on Earth. But there's a party coming up. There's 2 of them for sure. And each party is a surprise party. Now, this area here could also represent the crucifixion of the absentee ballot complete. Like this could be the concealed weapon, which it is. This is concealed. It's still in there. But to the woman that looks like on the outside, you can't tell, because on the outside, the woman has these. And this. You can't tell, but you don't know that what's going to come out of there is this. And this is just a smaller representation of this. Because these are still in there, tucked away. Right there. Up in that area. The whole entire system is all about this. So this would be the actual female, but on the outside looks like a male. Has a face of a man, but on the inside the plumbing is rearranged, where this is just a receiver only, and also looking like an implant from this view. Just an interesting implant, like it goes to where like a stomach is, and is able to create birth. But that would be male and male, 2 men and a baby. See how it's like a spark to it? This almost looks like there's some kind of push thing, mechanism. Is this made? Is this is both of these some type of implant mechanisms? And then when you're sitting down, the crown of life. Don't let any man take your crown. I mean, who would have ever thought? The Philadelphia Art Museum. So one park is shaped like this, which is same as these two coming into the system. And then down, and then up. Right side up, upside down. And then this, so you got 3 parks here. You got Sperm Park, and then Long John Park, and then Absentee Park. And this is here, just letting it go. This does look like a rib cage. Like Eve was taken from Adam's side and taken a rib out of his cage. But it also looks like a mask, because this looks like a face, and these look like an eye, and one of them's winking. And Johnny's wearing the headphones and the microphone. But it definitely looks like a mask. All these angels here flowing out of the windows.
Jordan, and on one side is the land of Esau, on one side is the land of Jacob. you'll find that this microcosm plays out again and again and again, even within our heads. You have one side of your brain that's one thing, one side that's the other. He's broken down the middle wall of partition. It's so deep. I'm sorry, guys.
What do I see here? I don't care what you see, Rob. I'm tired of hearing you. 15.
That's the way it is.
Now, I want you to pay attention. He wads up his little thing of plastic and he puts it down, and it starts expanding. It's very phallic. He's making a point. He puts it down and it starts expanding. It's a very phallic scene. He's like, okay, you married into it, call it heads or tails. He says, what do I stand to win? He says,
Heads.
you stand to win everything. Now, I know in the scene he's not
Or
telling him
tails.
you stand to win everything. I'm telling you. The word resurrection means the standing up again. That's what the word resurrection means. Resurrection. You stand to win everything. Let me show you a scripture where one of God's servants were called. Let me show you an example so you can understand. Watch. This is where one of God's servants was called, where he stood to win everything. Okay, watch this. Let's go to Acts 26. Acts 26 right here. Acts 26. So Paul is talking to, who it was Saul. Saul, who was a persecutor. He was a Pharisee. He used to kill Christians. He was there at Stephen's death. So he was
Stephen died.
going to Damascus to pick up a bunch of
Okay, so
Christians.
Stephen
He had
was
letters
crucified.
to arrest them. But that's when he has his moment with the light that shines down from heaven, which was Christ appearing to Saul on the road to Damascus. And that's when he goes into Damascus. He's blind for 3 days, and Ananias comes over, lays hands on him,
3 years.
and he's able to see again, and scales fall off his eyes. And then he's called as a servant of the Most High, as was I. Watch what he says when he's talking to Agrippa. So now Paul has been taken in front of Agrippa, and he's telling the king, he's like, no, listen, this is what happened. I used to be a Pharisee. I used to persecute Christians. You're not going to believe this. I was on the road to Damascus, and this light shines down from heaven, and I hear this voice say, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? I said, Lord, who are you? He said, I'm Jesus whom thou persecutest. And he says, now rise, stand upon thy feet, because I'm going to make you a minister. And then he tells him to call people from darkness to light,